Hello everybody, welcome back to another video. In today's video we're going to be looking at how to clean Legos. Specifically looking at how to remove yellow, the color yellow from Legos that has been decolorized and lost some of its color. So here is an example. You can see there's some yellow, that's what it should look like. But since there's a yellow spot on there, that's what we're trying to remove. Another example, here's a base plate. You can see that that's the original color and it turned yellow because it was left out in the sun, and the sun got through the windows, and over time it decolorized the platform, and so we want to restore that platform to the original color, which is this. So we're going to try to go from this to this. So you might be wondering how we could do that. Well, there's going to be two things that we're going to need, and the first one is hydrogen peroxide. You can get this from your local pharmacy store, Walmart. This one I got from the 3% one, works fine. There's no need to go above that. So here's some more Lego bricks or pieces I'm going to be trying to restore. A lot of these some of them are platforms and smooth pieces. So this one specifically is probably like really decolorized. So I can show you for comparison. So this right here is a tan smooth piece. For comparison, this is the white smooth piece. There's a slight difference, and really it should be that white, but it decolorized and turned to that tan color. So we want to remove that. So hydrogen peroxide, and the second thing is UV light. So the UV light we're going to be trying to use is this black light I just had lying around. So let me go ahead and plug it in. And there it glows. So essentially, I haven't tested this out yet, but it should work. If this doesn't work, then you probably won't see the video uploaded. So what we're going to be doing is dropping these Lego bricks and trying to restore the color in a small little container full of hydrogen peroxide over the course of an hour or two, and then come back later and see if it restored the color. So the first thing is, before we put it in the hydrogen peroxide, is that we want to give these a good rinse and wash, and just get all the dust off and everything. Okay, so the way I'm going to be doing that is just, I have a bucket full of water, and then some regular all-purpose soap. It's called heavy duty cleaner. So then we're just gonna put the Lego bricks in there and just stir them around and just try to remove all the dust and debris that was left over the years, because I don't wash my Legos very often. So a toothbrush could be perfect for washing this if you don't want to do it by hand. Just get in every little corner. Once you finish with it, rinse it off and just set it aside. I'm not going to be doing this platform, if you're wondering, because it's too big. So I just, the first batch I'm going to be doing is just a test batch to see if this works. And if it does work, I might eventually scale this up. As of right now, I don't have enough hydrogen peroxide, because this bottle is almost half empty, and that's the only one I have. Alright, so now just tap it down with a towel. That doesn't have to be completely dry. Okay, so let me go ahead and remove this platform since we're not going to be using it anymore. Okay, so I'm not really sure how to set this UV light. The UV light has to be above it, facing down, so that the Lego pieces are getting the full absorption. Now, keep in mind, hydrogen peroxide is a chemical. If you're not 100% sure, if you have cuts and bruises or some kind of blisters on your fingers, don't put your fingers in there, it's going to start burning and stinging. So you just want to fully submerge Lego bricks so they don't float, and make sure they're face up, or they're with the face that's decolorized. You want to make sure it's facing the UV light, otherwise they're not going to work. It's not going to work. Okay, now let's put this on, and I'll come back in like an hour. I need to hold this somehow. Can you put this right here? Alright, come back in an hour and see what's up. Also, a quick note I forgot to mention, probably not the best idea to go bare hand, because the hydrogen peroxide is going to get in your skin pores, and see, since I have cuts and stuff in my thumb, I might bite the skin off. Just a habit for me, so the hydrogen peroxide is stinging a little bit. So now I don't have any gloves, but I'm a little bit more experienced with hydrogen peroxide. So if you're doing this alone, probably recommend wearing gloves, but since I don't have any, I have to deal with it. A quick update, guys. The black light didn't work as planned, so my alternative was to leave it out in the sun, which produced a higher ultraviolet light than this black light, because I believe this black light wasn't strong enough or something. So I just went to my alternative option, and so I left it out by a window for a few days, because didn't have good sunlight for the past 2 days. It's been on and off raining and partly clouded, so left it out in the sun. But the results should be the same. Kind of disappointed that my black light wasn't powerful enough. I guess you must be aware of that. There's a specific black light you have to have, and this one was not one of it. So easiest and less complicated way to do is just fill it up with water, leave it out in the sun for a few hours, and you're good to go. The day has to be clear enough so there are no clouds and the sun can directly shine at your Lego pieces. So we can make a comparison again. You see there's absolutely no yellow on that. It looks nice and clean. Here's another one. Nice and white. Look at that. Very impressive. Depending on how decolorized your Lego piece is, that's how long you're going to have to leave it out. I didn't totally calculate how long I left it out in the sun, just because I was on and off in school and college, so I was kind of busy. Here's that really decolorized piece, and you can see how much of a difference it makes just to leave it out for a few hours, and this can make all the difference. Look at that. I mean, it still has a slight tint of yellow, but not nearly as much as what it used to be. So pretty impressed with my results. If you guys want to, you guys try this at home. This is very easy to do. For bigger platforms like this one, you'd probably have to have a bigger bucket and more of the hydrogen peroxide solution. Maybe I could try to decolorize one of my base plates, the one I showed you that was super decolorized, in the next video to see just how much it just covered. There we go. Just to see how much this base plate can be improved. Because I really thought once it goes into the stage, there's no going back. Like, I literally stopped using this platform since it's turned yellow, and try not to show it on camera. Because this is the back of it, and then this is the front. It's kind of funny though, because the ultraviolet from the sun causes this, but the reverse effect happens when you put it in hydrogen peroxide, and the ultraviolet goes through and it reacts and it restores it back to the color, which is pretty cool. Quick note, if you are going to be doing this at home and you're going to leave it out in the sun, there's going to be bubbles that form on it, so it's a good idea to move around the pieces maybe every hour or so. Just keep an eye on it. I didn't really do that, and it didn't really bubble up for me because there wasn't a clear enough day for bubbles to form, so the pieces didn't form bubbles. And another thing, when you put the pieces, make sure they're laying the decolorized surface up towards the sun, because if your piece accidentally flips over, it's not going to work, and it's going to look, so like one side is going to be decolorized and the other one's not. So just to make sure your results are what you're looking for, just keep an eye on it so it stays up. This one flipped a few times over. Every piece finishes at its own pace, since they all have like a different like, I should say, shade of decolorization. Like this one's kind of yellow compared to this, but this wasn't as yellow, so it's much wider. So now you can let me see, I also have some blue pieces that are decolorized, if I can get some. So here's an old piece I have, and kind of hard to tell it's decolorized, but this is what it should look like. So this is the new one, and then this is the decolorized one. It's kind of hard to tell on camera, but in person, to the naked eye, it's very easy to tell that this is decolorized. It has almost look kind of greenish, like a green tint to it. And this can happen to all kinds of pieces: green, white, gray, blue, red. So I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I hope you guys found it helpful. If you guys do try this at home, leave a comment down below to see if it does work for you, because it did work for me. So I'm hoping you guys get the same results, and I'll see you guys later.